Samut-saring mga aktibidad sa Iglesia ni Cristo ay inilulunsad sa CFO Today, sa CFO Today, unang matutunghayan. Iba't ibang gawaing pangkabanalan, buong pamilya ay may matutuhan sa CFO Today, sa CFO Today, unang matutunghayan. CFO Today. CFO, CFO, CFO Today. CFO, CFO, CFO Today. Napakasayang pagmasdan, kapisanan at mga samahan, mga kapatid sa buong mundo sa aktibidad ay ginagalingan.
Punong-puno ng entertainment, siguradong kasayahan. Napakaraming matututuhan ng mga tips sa iyong ibang larangan.
Sumakay na sa sports activity, matuto ng bagong recipe, bumuo ng masayang kanta at mga iba't ibang art.
Mga kaalamang pangkalusugan, mga diskarte at pamamaraan. Estudyante, empleyado, gaman, lahat tayo makikinabang.
Kapasintay na sa kasilahan, sumabay tayo sa kaluwagan, manood sa CFO para always na updated ka.
CFO, CFO, CFO Today. CFO, CFO, CFO Today. CFO, CFO, CFO Today. CFO, CFO, anumang gawain ay makikita, tagumpay sa bawat pagkakaisa. Sa CFO Today, sa CFO Today, dito sa CFO Today. CFO Today. CFO, CFO, CFO Today. CFO, CFO, CFO Today. CFO Today, CFO Today, CFO Today, CFO Today now. CFO Today, CFO Today, CFO Today, CFO Today now. CFO Today, CFO Today, CFO Today, CFO Today now. CFO Today, CFO Today, CFO Today, CFO Today now.
Hello, dearest viewers. As you may know, good health is vital for all of us to enjoy a happy life. For this reason, some of us who need help and care from licensed therapists take their services to ensure better coping strategies and quicker recoveries from the health challenges that we face. Today, our sister, who is a licensed therapist from the Ecclesiastical District of Virginia, will not only talk about how she assists her clients to help them get better, but will also give us a glimpse on how private practice of one's profession can be a good source of both income and inspiration.
Hello everyone, my name is Brother RJ Gabrantino. I'm a Kadiwa member in the Ecclesiastical District of Virginia. Now, let me present to you a situation. Let's say you have a job. It's a secure job, and it's in the field you want to be in. But let's say you want something more. You want to be your own boss. Now, this might actually describe you. You have goals and aspirations, but you also have concerns and hesitations about making that transition. In any industry, starting your own business can be a very daunting and intimidating task. But today, we will meet Sister Darlene Belen. She's a Kadiwa member in the Ecclesiastical District of Virginia. While being a local Kadiwa officer, district Kadiwa president, choir member, and CWS teacher, she is also a therapist who owns her own private practice. Let's get to know more about her story and how she got where she is today.
I'm Sister Darlene Belen. I'm 31 years old. I'm a licensed professional counselor, and I run my own private practice.
So, why do people start their own business in the first place? In a survey conducted in 2023, 605 small business owners and managers were asked what was their main motivator in starting their own entrepreneurial endeavors. Can you guess what the main factor was according to the survey? Was it A, to make better money, B, the flexibility of being their own boss, or C, to challenge the status quo of how the industry is going? I'll give you a few seconds to think about your answer. If you thought A, to make better money, sorry, but that's not the correct answer. In fact, according to the survey, only 8% of the respondents said they were motivated just to make big money. However, almost 2/3 of the respondents were motivated to manage their own business, to be their own boss and build something of their own. Let's go back to Sister Darlene and see what influenced her to make this career decision.
Before my private practice, I worked at an outpatient mental health clinic where I did individual therapy and group therapy and case management for clients that needed some intensive care. But during the pandemic, I started to realize that from a professional standpoint and in terms of where my lifestyle was going, I really wanted to transition to private practice.
So, it seems like Sister Darlene would agree with the majority of the respondents from the survey we mentioned earlier. She seemed that it was the correct decision for her, both from a professional and personal standpoint. But I'm sure it wasn't easy. Let's now hear about what Sister Darlene had to say about the challenges that she faced while transitioning into creating her own private practice.
The transition was a bit challenging when I went from the mental health clinic to my private practice. At the mental health clinic, I really just would take on clients that they gave me and focus on case management, running groups, doing individual therapy. But when I started my private practice, I really had to think of so much more than just taking care of my clients. I had to think through how to record keep, to make sure that I paid my taxes on time. I also had to think through how to market my practice and how to keep and maintain clients.
In the business world, you'll often hear the terms risk and reward. And starting your own business can definitely be considered as a risk. But the challenges and growing pains are all a part of the process. Do you know what are often the biggest challenges people face when starting their own business? Some of them were even mentioned by Sister Darlene. Well, according to business.com, here they are. When starting your own business, you might have to wear many hats. You might have to put on an accounting hat, and then you have to put on a marketing hat. You may even have to wear an IT hat. You have to learn different things. Sister Darlene even mentioned this. She said when she started her own private practice, she had to think of so much more. But handling everything on your own can take a toll on your mental health, physical health, even the well-being of your own business. So it's important to remember that running your own business doesn't mean running a business all on your own. Another common challenge faced when starting your own business is finding and attracting your own customers. If you came from working with an already established company, they already have established customers and the ability and credibility to find new ones. Sister Darlene also mentioned that this was a challenge that she faced. When she started working at the mental health clinic, clients were brought to her. But when she started her own private practice, she had to find ways of bringing them to herself. When you start your own company, you have to start from the ground up. But careful planning in the early stages of everything can help you overcome this challenge. Now, we've been speaking pretty generally so far when it comes to starting your own business. But now, let's get a little bit more specific. Let's look no further than our own example that we have with us today, Sister Darlene. She's a licensed professional counselor and works in therapy. Is this maybe the field that you're interested in? Maybe you're in it. What about your friends or family? It's important to know what it is so that we could better support it. Now, in any career, there's often misconceptions about them. And when it comes to therapy, I'm sure some of us have heard some of them one way or another. Let's ask Sister Darlene, what are some of the most common misconceptions that she has heard about therapy and what she can say to debunk them?
There are a few misconceptions about therapists that I run into just from hearing questions from people or potential clients. And so the first misconception that I want to address is that therapists tell you how to live your life. And that really is not the role of a therapist. If a therapist is ethical, they will create an environment where you feel comfortable examining your own values and making decisions based on your values. A therapist should never be in a position to tell you how to live your life or tell you what decisions to make. The second misconception that I often hear from people is related to how severe your mental health symptoms have to be in order to seek out help. I've heard a lot of people say, I don't know if I'm bad enough to warrant mental health services. And what I say to that is, if you suspect that you could be coping better with stress or just emotions in general, if the way that you're currently coping isn't working out for you or causing problems in life, then there are definitely ways that therapy can help you to find different coping skills in order for you to live a more fulfilling life.
Those are great clarifications for anyone who may have had misconceptions about therapy, especially that second one. I myself have heard that misconception often, that only those who have gone through severe situations and experiences in life warrant therapy. But Sister Darlene said herself that even for those who may feel like they can better cope with things such as stress or any emotion, can definitely benefit from going to therapy. It's a tool that can help them go through things in life. Another thing I've commonly heard about therapy is sometimes it's looked down upon. Like, even for those who have gone through experiences that were severe, they're often told, maybe you shouldn't seek therapy. But brothers and sisters, it's important to remember that our mental health is just as important to our whole well-being as our physical health is. But now, let's go back to the topic of starting our own business, especially for our dear viewers who might be like Sister Darlene and want to start their own private practice. Let's ask Sister Darlene if she has any tips for those who are looking to start their own private practice.
Here are a few tips to starting your own private practice. Tip number 1, Make some friends with small business owners and other people that are in private practice. It was really helpful for me when I first started my private practice to have conversations with people who were in it already, to get their thoughts on what software to use for client records, and being able to get their ideas on insurance, whether or not to be on panels. Being able to have those conversations really helped me to understand what was best for my private practice. Tip number 2. Make a list of pros and cons related to different jobs in the field. You may want to really consider the pros and cons related to working at a clinic versus in private practice versus starting your very own private practice. It was really helpful for me to think through the differences in compensation, whether or not I wanted benefits. Being able to know what each different type of job offered helped me to understand that private practice was really the direction for me to be able to gain the lifestyle that I wanted. Tip number 3. Really take some time to visualize what your life would look like if you were to start your own private practice, and really thinking through how your career would fit with the type of lifestyle that you want. So when I was first starting my private practice, I actually sat down and wrote like a day in the life of what it would look like in my private practice. And I really thought through what my mornings would look like, how I would spend my time outside of the office, and I really made sure to think through how my church duties would benefit from me transitioning over to private practice. Tip number 4. Don't be afraid to spend money on services that could really help you to grow your practice. When I first started off in private practice, I felt pretty hesitant to spend money on certain services. But when I actually did spend money on things like business coaching or website design, it actually really helped my practice to grow. It helped me to learn how to do things related to my business. And I was really grateful to have those skills and pay professionals to help me with those skills. Of course, it's really important for you to vet different services to make sure that that those services would fit your needs. And it's also important to make sure that you are spending money in a way that is sustainable for you. Tip number 5. Find a group of people that can hold you accountable. When I first started my private practice, I had a group of friends that were also starting different passion projects, and I was so grateful for them to be able to talk to them, for us to share our feelings about how it felt to start these different projects, to be very honest about challenges that we were facing, and it was really nice to have a group of people that would celebrate my successes with me. Tip number 6. You don't have to do everything perfectly or right the first time. In fact, have the expectation that you're going to make mistakes. This is part of building your business. You're going to try some things, you're going to realize it's not going to work, and you're going to make adjustments. But just know that it is not the expectation for you to be perfect the first time around. Tip number 7. You don't have to take everyone's advice. I know that when I first started private practice, there were a lot of people in my circle that wanted to give me some advice. And because I wanted to respect their opinions, part of me wanted to really take that advice and run with it. But I realized that when I was building my own practice, there were certain directions that I really wanted to go in, and taking other people's advice on certain things would not have led me to the direction that I wanted to go in. And so we can be really grateful for the people in our lives that want to give us some advice, but just know that if it's steering you away from your vision, then you can be grateful, but also not take that advice. Ultimately, what helped me to make the decision to start my own private practice was realizing that just because God has given me a blessing in the past doesn't mean that He always has the expectation for me to hold that same blessing for the rest of my life. My job at the clinic was definitely a blessing. It helped me to gain really important skills, but God was pushing me in the direction to create my own private practice. And by doing that, I was able to learn more skills. I was able to create a lifestyle that better complemented my duties. And so I was able to recognize that God sometimes has the expectations for us to grow out of the blessings that he gives to us. So my last and most important tip, tip number 8, is trust in God.
Those were some amazing tips. Did you catch them all? Pop quiz. For tip number 1, who did Sister Darlene suggest to make friends with? Was it A, other small business owners, or B, employees? Of course, it'd be great to make friends with everyone, but as a tip for someone looking to start their own business, Sister Darlene suggested to make friends with other small business owners. You can learn and gain from their experiences. In tip number 3, what did Sister Darlene say she wrote out when she visualized what her life would be like when she planned to start her own private practice? Was it A, a list of names of what she would call her business? Or B, a day in the life of what it would look like in her private practice? The correct answer is B, a day in the life. Sister Darlene was able to use this as a way to figure out how her professional, personal, and church life would fit into her new role. Next question. What did Sister Darlene say one shouldn't be afraid to spend money on in tip number 4? Was it A, services that could help your business grow? Or B, food? It was A, services that could help your business grow. This could be anything from equipment to marketing campaigns to website design, anything that would benefit you and your business. Sister Darlene also added an additional tip of making sure that you spend money wisely and in a way that is sufficient. And of course, though food wasn't the answer to this particular question, make sure you eat. In tip number 5, Sister Darlene suggested to find a group of people who would do what? A, hold you accountable, or B, be your cheerleaders. The answer is A, hold you accountable. Although it's great to have a great support system, it would definitely help us reach our goals if we had people making sure that we're staying on track. For Sister Darlene, it was another group of people who were also starting their own businesses. They were able to mark off their milestones together. Last review question, true or false? You should take every advice that anyone gives you. The answer is false. Though I'm sure anyone who gives you advice only has your best interest in mind, and it's coming from a good place. But like Sister Darlene said, sometimes that advice, it's not in line with your own vision and goal. A lot of things in life are not a one-size-fits-all type of thing. So, appreciate their input, but understand you don't have to implement all of them, especially if they don't match up with what you had in mind for your business. Those were some excellent tips given by our sister for anyone looking to start their own private practice. But you know, a lot of those tips could also apply to someone starting their business in any field. Like how she said to not be afraid to not get things right on the first try. Remember, failure can be part of the success. I also especially liked her tip about visualizing what your life would be like should you have that entrepreneurial role or position that you're looking for. What would my day be like? How much time in the day would I have? How would it affect my duties? Would I be able to perform them better? It was great to hear that though she was thinking about her professional goals in life, she still prioritized her duties and her relationship with our Almighty God, which she mentioned in her last tip, the most important one, trust in God. And I love the way that she put it. She recognized that her job with the mental health clinic that she had before was definitely still a blessing for her, but she knew that God had other blessings waiting for her. Sister Darlene put her trust in our Almighty God and what He had in store for her, and used it as an opportunity for her to level up. So now, I ask you, how will you level up? Well, we hope we shared with you some helpful tips should you decide to start your own business. And if anything, we hope we shared with you an inspiring story of an example of someone who started her own business through the help and guidance of our Almighty God. From the District of Virginia, thank you for watching CFO Today International.
Onwards to further our victories, moving forward to make more history. Let's see, more than a century. Evidently, this is heaven sent, God-given energy. We're never getting tired. The bar, we raise it high. We're not just trying to get by. More poverties we buy, more countries we reach, more converts baptized. In the race that we're running, man, it seems that we fly. In God we trust, on Him we rely. Always giving the strength, the faith, the light, the love, the hope, the life that we need. All His miracles we see for the eye and see. His goodness and power can be seen in all victories.
With God's help we're striving, with God's love we're shining. All the blessings God gives, all the blessings we receive will only help to further our victory.
With God's help, we become unstoppable. With God's help, everything is possible. All of the accomplishments are remarkable. Others can hate, but they still can't stop it though. We move forward, never ever stumble. With God blessing us, we still stay humble. And through the struggle and all of the trouble, our work we redouble, and look what it's come to. We're global now, we're not done yet. Working before the sun rises and way past the sunset. From where the sun rises to where the sun sets, always putting in work, that's what His Son said. We're going farther than the seas and beyond our limits, because God is on our side, we will never be finished. Our hands keep on working and we still stay winning. Made it to 100, that's just the beginning.
With God's care we're thriving, with God's hand we're rising. All God's teachings He bestows, all His teachings will uphold. As we march on and on further our victory. Thousands of other men who are studying His teachings. Millions of other men who are learning His teachings, yeah. His love is evident, the worship building standing tall. This is all evidence that He won't let us fall. Millions of brethren.
The Church of Christ continues to grow with millions of brethren. God's great name made truly known.
His word is unstoppable. More than 100 years of God's countless blessings. Everything is possible.
More than 100 years of His never ending, never ending.
Through the good and the bad, we remain victorious. We return all the praises to our God so glorious.
From the story of our sister, it is once again proven that diligence, unwavering commitment, and strong faith in God pave way for success. In addition, with the right outlook in life, private practice, or whatever business can be an added inspiration, never a hindrance in fulfilling our duties in the church. This is Sister Lorraine Manabat saying stay safe and stay inspired by Christian living here on CFO Today.